WEAU TV 13, Eau Claire.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Welch, and welcome to the premiere telecast of NewsCenter 13 at 5. The 5 o'clock report is new for us, and we're excited about it. It's a chance to go into more depth on news in western Wisconsin, a chance to give you more stories, the stories there's simply no time for, at 6 and 10, an opportunity to talk with newsmakers through interviews and special segments. We'll be on 5 days a week at 5, leading into the NBC Nightly News, and then, of course, NewsCenter 13 at 6. And we're very proud to be expanding our news coverage. And coming up on NewsCenter 13 at 5 tonight, the first in a series of reports on the culture shock of Eau Claire's new and growing minority, the Hmongs, a look at an insurance scheme that hoodwinked many elderly folks across our area. And Jim Crandall takes a closer look at an unusual call during yesterday's Packer-Falcon game. But first, inflation, high interest rates, and further cuts in federal spending are causing havoc for state economies, including Wisconsin's. And for more on all this, Randy Luby's in our Madison Bureau talking with Governor Lee Dreyfus. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Jeff. Governor Dreyfus, the Reagan economic plan, which you support, has been drawing lots of fire lately. Lack of trust by the financial community seems to be aiding the soaring interest rates, the continued high interest rates. Is it time to push the panic button yet?
Absolutely not. This bunch of nervous Nellies, I mean, this thing hasn't been in that long, and they want some kind of instant solution to something that's been building up for 15 years. Clearly, the first enemy to attack was get at the inflation. That's down within single-digit figures. The next one to come down then is to get the interest for money down, and that's not going to come down until these Wall Street characters finally decide this is for real, and they're going to find out this president's going to hang tough. When
you're going to have a chance to talk with him.
Yes, I am.
What certain topics are you going to discuss?
I'm going at two key topics. What can they do at the federal level to help us all get into marketing and exporting farm goods? Because if they want to get out of the parity business or anything else, the best thing you can do for the farmer is get his product sold for him. And right now the place to sell it is all over this world. We've got a bunch of starving people out there. We produce food better than anybody else. It's an obvious thing. Let us find a way to market that food and get it out of here.
Governor Dreyfus, a pleasure having you here on the premiere of our 5 o'clock show.
Glad to be here.
And back to you, Jeff.
Thank you, Randy, Governor. Add another name to the growing list of hurricanes that have been plaguing the Caribbean. Now it's Hurricane Harvey, and he's been packing a mean wallop. He has a wind strength of 110 miles an hour, making him the strongest hurricane of the season. Meteorologist Joe Dandry is in our NewsCenter weather room. And Joe, is Harvey much a threat to the southeast coast?
Well, Harvey right now, Jeff, has winds of about 110 miles an hour. It's still about 550 miles off the U.S. mainland, so still quite a ways out to sea. And chances are that as it does continue to drift toward the United States, it'll eventually curve off into the northeast, back into the Atlantic Ocean. Probably not be a threat to the United States, but of course we'll be watching that storm very closely. Across Wisconsin, we're going to be seeing a big change in the weather over the next couple of days. We've been enjoying temperatures around 10 degrees above average, but things are going to be changing very, very gradually here over the next 12 to 24 hours. NewsCenter radar currently shows us within about 300 miles of the Eau Claire area just a few showers now beginning to show up in central Minnesota, all part of a large shower area in the eastern Dakotas and western Minnesota that'll gradually be drifting to the east. Pretty nice conditions right now though in Eau Claire. Let's look at those current readings. 72 degrees is our current temperature, the 22 Celsius with partly cloudy skies, the dew point 44, and our humidity a very low 37%, which also tells us any rain that occurs is going to be very, very light. Winds right now are out of the north-northwest at 12 miles an hour, barometer 30.03, and it's steady. Looking across the 7 states now that surround Wisconsin, including Illinois, Iowa, and the Dakotas, there's that cloud band that's coming in across Minnesota. Still even some smoke being reported up in northern Minnesota. Showers at International Falls, 63 showers, Fargo-Moorhead. They're only 56 degrees. That's what's going to be coming our way over the next day or so. 80 at Des Moines with clear skies, some thunderstorms in southeast Iowa. The forecast for the immediate Eau Claire area then for tonight, we're looking for a chance for some of those showers developing with increasing cloudiness from the west. Overnight lows will be 46 to 52 degrees, about a 30% chance of rain. And then for Tuesday, we'll look for mostly cloudy conditions, chance for occasional showers. Not as nice as it's been, 60 to 66 for the highs. Wednesday looks like more of the same, Jeff, with temperatures maybe only in the 50s for highs.
Starting to look like autumn. Thanks, Joe. Joe will have complete weather details coming up at 6 on NewsCenter 13. And President Reagan is talking about more budget cuts. We'll have that story when NewsCenter at 5 continues.
Take 5 with Bass Shoes at Weiner Shoes. Bass Shoes.
Hi, I'm John Noonan. Next on Movies Till Dawn, we spotlight Cary Grant. We'll begin with the 1937 film classic of The Toast of New York, featuring Jean Arthur. Then Myrna Loy co-stars in Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. None But the Lonely Heart will be our final feature, starring Ethel Barrymore. That's Cary Grant on Movies Till Dawn, Friday, September 18th at 11:30.
Another element we'll be featuring on NewsCenter at 5 is what we call reporter debriefing. This is an opportunity for our reporters who've just come back from the field to talk in a relaxed yet spontaneous manner about what they've been investigating all day. As an example, Scott Cohn has been investigating a new angle on the old trick called take the money and run. Scott?
Well, the new angle, Jeff, involves insurance fraud, to be specific. A widespread investigation over the past year or so by the State Insurance Commission has turned up an epidemic of insurance fraud. The most common method of doing it is insurance agents taking money for insurance policies, and instead of forwarding it to the insurance company, they keep it for themselves. We talked to Robert Luke of the State Insurance Commission. He says, like anything else, buying insurance means being a careful consumer.
Don't write a check out to the agent if you do buy. Make the check out to the company and get a receipt for it. The reason for this is the company is responsible.
The anniversary sale is on right now at Bratz Appliance Center. We have been in the appliance and TV service business for the past 11 years, and we really appreciate your business. During this sale, we have reduced the price of all TVs in stock. This RCA 25-inch XL100 console is just $588 with electronic tuning, or this 19-inch portable is just $438. Shop early for best buys on 1981 models at Bratz Appliance Center on London Road in Eau Claire.
Exercise, healthy meals, great recipes, a lot of fun, and you. Watch The Richard Simmons Show.
Weekdays at 11 on TV 13.
What folks will remember most about yesterday's Green Bay-Atlanta game is the fourth quarter when the Falcons made a driving comeback to win, but Jim Crandall wants to back up about 2 quarters and talk about an unusual call.
Yeah, the comeback is much too depressing to spend too much time on. What I want to talk about, Jeff, is a play that happened right at the end of the first half, which is something that I don't remember ever seeing before, something I had some calls on today about the rule, so I checked it out with the NFL, and here's what we found out, okay? Now, this is what happened. You can see here in this videotape that time is running out right at the end of the first half. The Packers, in a real hurry now, lined up to try a 23-yard field goal, and Jan Stenerud hit it perfectly. The kick was good. But one of the Packers linemen was not set before the snap. Now, as everybody knows, that is illegal procedure. Atlanta, of course, accepted the penalty. Time had expired, and so the rule says the half is over and the Packers don't get another kick. Now, if this had happened at any other time than right at the end of the half or the game, the Packers would have just been penalized 5 yards and could have tried another kick. Dick Maxwell at the NFL offices in New York told me this afternoon that giving the Packers another play with no time left would be like rewarding them for having a penalty called on them, and that's why the rule is like it is. Now, I really don't think that's a very good reason. Doesn't make much sense to me, but the rule is that the half cannot end on a defensive penalty, but it can end on an offensive penalty, and that's why that was like it was. Couple other things. Eau Claire Blue Gold running back Roger Van today was named the NAIA National Player of the Week on offense. He had a great game against Evansville in a big Blue Gold win on Saturday night down in Indiana. We'll have more on that for you at 6. Brewers tonight playing at County Stadium against the New York Yankees, first of a 3-game series, and all of these games are real important now, Jeff, because the Brewers only have 18 left. They're 3 behind Detroit, so obviously they need some wins. One more thing. We had big plans for Hank Aaron today here on the 5 o'clock show to interview him live and everything, but it didn't work out, obviously, because he canceled for a week and will be here next Monday. The reason he gave is because he has to be in Richmond, where their AAA team is in the playoffs. frankly, I didn't think that was a very good reason. I talked to Jim Rance today, who is assistant farm director for the Minnesota Twins, and he told me that that is standard procedure, that just about every major league team sends their player personnel director, which Hank Aaron is, to the playoffs if their AAA team makes it. So Aaron's off the hook by me, and we'll have him next Monday, okay?
Okay, Jim, sounds good. Mike Rindo's in the newsroom now with a look at what's coming up in about a half hour on NewsCenter 13 at 6. Mike?
Good afternoon, Jeff. Our headline story coming up at 6 is, of course, Northern State Power Company's request for another rate increase. We'll talk to NSP officials about why they want that increase. The State Agriculture Department says it now wants to take the Clark County town of Grant to court for the illegal spraying of the chemical 2,4,5-T along some town of Grant roads back in July. A fire at an Eau Claire home caused an estimated $3,000 damage. It broke out in an attic and was mainly smoke damage from that blaze. And NSP's Prairie Island Nuclear Power Plant near Red Wing, Minnesota has been rated by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission as one of the top plants in the country as far as performance goes. Wisconsin's Inland Lake Renewal Program could be in trouble. Our environmental reporter, Dave Carlson, will have a complete report for you. And a weekend hunting accident has left a Burnett County boy hospitalized in serious condition. Details at 6. First, back to you, Jeff.
Mike, on that fire was pretty serious this afternoon. What's the latest on that?
The fire in Eau Claire was not that serious. It only caused about $3,000 damage to a residence at 109 Elm Street. Of course, the fire you reported on in Sheboygan during the 5 o'clock newscast caused about $250,000 damage.
Okay, Mike. Thank you. That's NewsCenter at 5 for this evening. Now we go to New York for the NBC Nightly News.
NBC Nightly News. With John Chancellor in New York and Chief Washington Correspondent Roger Mudd.
Good evening. The United States said today it has evidence that chemical warfare has been waged in parts of Southeast Asia and possibly in Afghanistan, and implied that the poison was made in the Soviet